Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool stuff almost every single day. And guys, today is the day. Today is a day that we've been waiting on for many, many days, and what a good day it will be. Wednesday, June 15th, or Thursday, June 16th by the time that you guys are seeing this, unless you're a patron, that is. Today, we bring home an absolute grail. So before we dive too deep into this video, I need to go ahead and just throw out a graphic content warning. There is going to be some pretty gross subject matter featured later on in the video, and it all revolves around the piece that I'm unboxing today. At the end of the day, it is just rubber and foam, but what it represents is a little darker and grosser and vulgar than what we normally feature here on the channel. So if you're watching with a child, you should probably go ahead and just not let them watch this video. Now, with that being said, we can go ahead and discuss a little bit about this piece before we take it out. So, first of all, I did shoot a video very similar to this a little under a year ago. I actually had a replica of this item created by my buddy Gavin, and that ended up becoming a patrons exclusive video. It was only for patrons because of the subject matter. However, documenting the real deal now that we have it here at the House of Masks is a little more important to me than just trying to hide something because it's shocking. And the whole reason that I even had that replica piece commissioned way back when was because when I got the Princess Diana prop in my collection, a lot of people were pretty butthurt about it. Even though in the video I made it very clear that even I was pretty uncomfortable owning that piece, but it was a serious piece of Gwar history, and definitely the grossest and most offensive Gwar prop that would be in my collection. And the reason that I was okay with the grossness or the vulgarity or the obscene or the downright offensiveness of that prop is because that is a big part of Gwar. It wasn't called shock rock for nothing. And if it was defileable, Gwar would defile it. So even though that piece makes me uncomfortable, that's just part of Gwar, man. I've been offended by Gwar a million times, and then I stop and I realize, hey, what gives me the right to be offended by this when I'm laughing at the other things that they are doing that is probably offensive to a good number of people out there anyways? I would be no better than the people that are complaining about literally everything if I complain about something myself. So I can't think that it's funny that they are up there making Trump give a blowjob right before he dies if I also don't think that this Lady Diana thing is acceptable.
What is more dangerous, woman? The evening news, which is chock full of the death and the war and the hatred that the governments of this world have forced onto our people, shows like Cops, things like football, people injuring and killing each other, or something like Gwar that is totally making fun of all that
So now with that out of the way, we've kind of covered all our bases. We can go ahead and jump on into the piece. And again, I just can't believe that I even got the chance to own this. I knew of this collector having it in his collection for a long, long time, and he never ever even considered selling it when I would inquire. But randomly, about a month and a half ago, he said, hey, I'm putting this up for auction, and there was just no way that I was going to lose that auction. So I put down a big fat bid pretty early on that I didn't think many people would try to touch, although I was worried that I would get into a bidding war with one or two other collectors, and it just didn't happen, and I ended up winning with like my second or third bid. So that being said, let's grab this big ass box, let's get on into it, and let's behold just the absolute disgustingness that is Gwar. Alright, I'm excited to get this out of the box because it's been sitting around for quite a while. It should have been here in probably a week and a half's time, but for some reason DHL was like, oh, this is one of the most expensive things that we've ever shipped for you. Let's go ahead and just make you think that we lost it. No joke, this thing sat for over a month in the same exact place, and then when it finally got to America and it got into customs, it was like, no, this scan doesn't exist anymore. So it has been a very nerve-wracking waiting game, waiting for this piece. So I'm just removing all of the stuffing here, all of the shipping materials, and oh man. So this came from Germany, and we've got some German candies and whatnot. Always love that stuff. Some of them are really good, and then others are like, wow, can't believe people eat this shit. Mit Prickblinder Brostfluffsiglung. All right, we'll worry about that later. I'm just way too excited to get into this piece. So, I think we are approaching it. Oh, Here he comes. Man, I hope that the heat did not damage him too badly. I can't believe I'm about to be holding this thing in my hands.
That's what she said.
Looks like he threw in some extra stuff. Gwar and the road behind. Oh, this is a vinyl. So this must be what, the America Must Be Destroyed vinyl? Oh yeah, so it's like a Gwar picture disc, and then on the other side it must be the road behind. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know he was throwing that in. Hell yeah. Something nice for Filth the Shelves 2022. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm not missing any more items down here in the box. I don't think I am. There is one more piece of candy there. So we will get rid of the box and we will start to check this thing out. Again, this is going to be offensive, especially when I show some of the clips of it in use, but this is a very, very cool, very big deal part of Gwar history, and I will explain why. There are multiple reasons for that. So we'll go ahead and take this dude out of the packaging. We will get him unbubble wrapped so you can see exactly what we are dealing with here. And I'm trying to be careful because I don't know the actual state of this dude. Oh man, he is gross. Wowza.
Wowzers, I just made a mess of my trousers.
Good Lord. Okay. He is not in great shape, but I think that everything is going to be okay. This thing is old, probably one of the oldest pieces in my collection. I believe that this was made around 92 because the first time that I ever saw it in use was for Tour de Scum. But what we have here is him. This is him, the Have You Seen Me kid. This was Dave Brockie's right-hand man. Not only was he used for all of the Have You Seen Me bits, but Brockie just really liked this thing. He had it with him all the time for different photo shoots, different interviews, and public appearances.
The next time a police officer thinks about shutting down a show, he's gonna think about that.
I'd think about it.
Now, Gwar is generously donating $10,000 to the ACLU.
Yes.
And $2,500 to the Missing Children's Foundation.
Oh yeah, we
Here's
want
one right
into
here.
that at all.
He just really liked having this kid with him, and it's Dave Brockie. You can probably guess why. What's more offensive than a dead kid? So he would just have this thing with him all the time. And a fun fact that I learned when this auction came about is that this was made by Brockie. I am holding a one-of-one Dave Brockie original that is older than I am, that Dave Brockie used constantly. This is on the same level for me as one of his masks. And as vile and repulsive as it is, this is just a crazy, crazy piece of Gwar history. So for those of you that missed that, Dave sculpted this piece from scratch, painted it all himself, and made a lot of modifications to it over the years. This thing definitely used to have an open head where Dave would put his cuttlefish through. And as you can see, we've got a large chunk of brain coming out because it looks like as it started to deteriorate, maybe this thing just wasn't holding up too well. And I can tell you what, this thing is very fragile in its current state. I am going to most likely have to do some preservation stuff to the back because I really don't want this head to fall off. And I know it's an original Gwar piece. You're always taking a risk when you touch something up like that. But for the sake of the piece living on forever, happy in my collection, probably worth it. I've done this to other pieces that weren't quite in great shape. I did it to this old Sexecutioner piece from the 80s, and trust me, this thing now looks a hell of a lot better than it did when I got it. When I pulled this thing out of the package, it was unrecognizable. It literally looked like someone had vomited on a carpet and then just cut the whole piece of carpet out and mailed it to me. So I think this thing's going to be fine. It looks like the back side of the head is the only thing that I'm going to have to worry about, but wow, what a piece. Probably my favorite part of this piece is the one little shoe on there. Outtro always had one little shoe on this guy, but overall, looking at this thing, it is just absolutely amazing. I cannot believe that I own this, and yes, it is offensive. I'm not a big fan of like infanticide, child molestation. I think pedophiles should be killed. Actually, I don't think pedophiles should be killed. I think we should use them as like human farms. Like the second that someone needs a kidney or a liver or some eyeballs or whatever, we should be like, you know what? This guy raped a 12-year-old. Let's go ahead and take his. But anyways, that's for a different video. Yeah, as offensive as this is, it is a big deal Gwar piece. This was one of, if not the most shocking of the things that Gwar would do back in the day when they were still really turned up, and to have this one of one that I've seen so many times in my life is just next level. This is easily one of, if not the biggest deal Gwar piece in my collection now, and an absolute grail that I just can't actually fathom holding. Like, I have this in my hand right now. This is going to be in my collection forever, and I get to look at it every time I walk through this room. And not only that, but you guys on the internet get to appreciate it and learn about it, and everybody that shows up here at the House of Masks is going to get to see it and appreciate it and learn about it. And in a sense, we're just kind of keeping Brocky's legacy alive through a different avenue, and that is pretty fucking awesome. So I could not be happier. I know that this is weird. I tried to warn you guys, and any weird comments down below are just going to get deleted because I don't want to deal with it. Now, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and end this video with some nice up-close shots to let you guys appreciate this piece the same way that I'm going to appreciate this piece, by looking at it.
Oh, would you look at this?
Thank you all very, very much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below and maybe even a comment. That really helps the channel out, and I'll make it easy for you. What is the most offensive thing that you can think of that Gwar has done? Let me know down below in the comments, and I will meet you down there for a general discussion. Until next time, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks, telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and we will see you guys in the next one.